I have just harvested so much kale from our garden that honestly, I didn't really know what to do with it all. So I have been researching some recipes and I just want to share them with you guys in case you also have a lot of kale that you don't know what to do with. Then hopefully these recipes will give you guys some inspiration. So kale, as you may or may not know, is a wonderful, wonderful food. It is high in nutrition and very low in calories. It is very high in both vitamin K and vitamin C. It is full of antioxidants, and it can help lower cholesterol. So here are some recipes to show you how to work more kale into your diet. First thing I'm going to do is wash and prep all of this kale. Even though I'm going to freeze some of it, it still needs to be washed, especially our kale that came from the garden and often has a lot of spiders on it. So I'm just gonna wash everything first and then we will start our recipes. So there are some tricks to getting the leaves off of your stem more easily. For example, by putting your fingers in a ring and just sliding it down the stalk of the kale. But I find that that doesn't always work for me, and sometimes it just breaks the stem and I end up having to pinch off the leaves anyway. So usually I will just do the pinching method for all my kale. I find that it's pretty much as fast as the sliding method, so that's what I prefer to do. So I'm gonna freeze about half of this since I have so much. I really like freezing kale because I find that you can put it into pretty much any recipe that you would use frozen spinach for. I mainly use it for smoothies once it's frozen, but you can even put it into soup after it's been frozen. Of course, the texture won't be exactly the same as fresh, but since cooking kale changes the texture anyway, then that doesn't really matter to me. I just find that it lasts so much longer, of course, if you freeze it. And I'm just gonna fully dry it first and then put it in a Tupperware and into the freezer. I really like making kale chips because it uses a lot of kale and they dry and shrink down to like a really small size, and kale chips are delicious. If you haven't tried them yet, definitely try making them. They're pretty easy to make at home and it saves a lot of money compared to the stores. I mean, when you go to the store and buy like a tiny little bag of kale chips, it's already like $6 or $7. So I pretty much always make them at home if I'm craving kale chips. And like I said, I find it's a really good way to use up a lot of kale. For our kale chips, we need 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 to 2 tablespoons nutritional yeast, half a teaspoon smoked paprika, half a teaspoon Old Bay seasoning, and a teaspoon of garlic powder. Outside is not that cold, and if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia. Most of these were crispy, but since some of them needed a little bit longer, I decided to just flip them all and bake them for another 3 minutes. For the second batch, I'm just using a homemade cashew cream, which already has a lot of flavor in it, and about a teaspoon of paprika. It's been 3 weeks since you called me. I'm too hung up and I can't sleep. But would you hear me out tonight? 'Cause I need nothing more than you. Kale is also really good to add into soups. I usually don't put it in at the beginning of the cook cycle, but I'll add it in at the very end, like similarly to as you would do with spinach. So I'm just gonna make a quick Instant Pot soup and then we will put in our kale at the very end. This soup I'm using sorghum, which is a high protein grain, and we just need 1 cup of sorghum. I'm also using white kidney beans. We need 1 cup of those. And now we have about a cup of garden celery, a whole white onion, 4 cloves of garlic, 8 cups of water, some onion powder, paprika, and garlic powder, and a small piece of kombu seaweed. And then just set to high pressure for 20 to 25 minutes. After the cook cycle has completed and the pressure has come down naturally, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of veggie broth paste, about a cup of mixed frozen veggies, a handful of sliced cherry tomatoes, and our chopped kale. For our kale salad, we need 2 cups chopped kale, 1 avocado, and you just want to massage the avocado into the kale and kind of break the kale down a bit, some sliced cherry tomatoes, about half of an apple, 2 ribs of celery, a half of a bell pepper, some walnuts, cashew cream sauce, and a squeeze of lemon. For smoothie 1, I'm using frozen blueberries, 2 handfuls of kale, a scoop of protein powder, 1 tablespoon ground flax, and water. For smoothie 2, I'm using frozen strawberries, kale, 1 tablespoon ground flax, a quarter of an apple, a bit of celery, water, and a banana. Like these ones, I'm falling before I go again. I've tried to pretend time is on our side. I'm falling before I go again. If you did enjoy this video, please feel free to give it a like, and also if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I'm making new videos every week. And with that, let's eat plants, and I will see you guys next time.